Hi guys, I'm Badger from the UK. Some of you have seen the finishes that I get on my artwork, which is either sanded or polished finish. Pretty much we start out at about 240 grit and take it up to either 600 or 800 depending on what the finish wants to be. If the customer just wants a sanded finish, then we take it up to 600. If the customer wants to go with a nice shiny finish, we take it up to 800. Makes a big difference. We use a Makita 9237 CB with a backing pad that's got some give to it. Now, we're certainly no video person. We're learning as we go along. Today being no exception. I'm going to try and keep the screw up to a minimum, but believe me, they'll be in here, don't worry. I'm going to try and keep it unedited for as much as I can, but you don't want to see every screw up, so we'll just try and keep it as neat as possible. Now for our friends across the pond, you like to call these old machines rotaries. We could just call it a buffer, angle grinder, whatever you want, it does the same thing. I have a mixture of this and the air DO sander. So put that to one side, get the DA. So we're going to go up to 800. For our polishing side of things, we only use Zephyr products from America. We have a distributor in Ireland, zephyrproducts.co.uk, named Stephen. Always use safety flanges. Safety flanges will save your face. If you think I'm joking, try and run without one. or rather don't, because it's not a good idea. Now, when I first started out, I watched so many different polishing videos on YouTube, and I was trying to copy everybody, trying different things. What works for somebody might not work for someone else, and you see so many different things. The best thing you can do is just try it yourself, experiment, see what works, what doesn't. I use different mops, probably in a different order to everybody else. Sometimes I use a wrong bar, but if I get the result I want, it's no big deal, it wins. That's all we're trying to do. We're no metal polisher at the end of the day, we never profess to be, but we just enjoy what we do, and it doesn't come out too bad. The finishes we get on our artwork, people love, so that's all I've got to do. With these airways, they'll have a little flap on the bottom, on one side. Always put that in the direction of the wheel that's going to be travelling in. Otherwise, you'll end up with it flapping against your work, and you'll end up with no end of scratches you're adding into it. Don't forget. As I say, people start with different mops, different airways, whatever you want to call them. Always make sure it's nice and tight. It's just a case of suck it and see what works for you. What works for some doesn't work for everybody else. Some people start with a much more aggressive airway. Try it, see if you like it. You never know. One more word. Masks are important. Now, I know I'm not wearing a mask today. If I was to wear a mask, you'd probably say it'd be an improvement. If I was to wear a mask today, you wouldn't hear a dang thing I'm saying. So we're going to leave it off just for the video for today. But other than that, do wear one, because the fine stuff that you get off this, it's no good for your lungs. And life's short enough as it is, isn't it? When you're polishing, try and work a rough area about the width of your shoulders. Don't go too far, because you'll be running out of compound, you'll be chucking it on like it's going out of fashion. Just keep going backwards and forwards nice and steady. You see these videos from across the pond where they're shining up a wheel or shining up a grill on a Kenworth, Peterbilt, whatever truck it is. it's not like we're trying to polish a big flat area like what I have here. 4 foot by 4 foot, so it takes its time, and trying to marry this together so you don't get lines in it can be difficult. So when you've got small areas that you see these guys doing on a grill or on a truck rim, because it's always moving around, it doesn't show up as much. When you're trying to work a flat area, it's that much more difficult. So be forgiving on yourself and don't beat yourself up. Now we've gone over there with the triple E bar and with just this light flannel. It's not supposed to be for it, but it does the job. It's starting to get a shine already, as you can see. We're not going to do the whole sheet. That was the sandy to 800. That's the shine you're getting off of it already. The hash marks are starting to go, so we're just going to change it out. You just have to bear with me because this new video lark that we're doing is a complete unknown for me. I took a few pictures, people seem to like it. What can I say? Rake your buffs all the time. You'll get a build up of either the compound or you'll get a build up of the metal from the surface. If you don't take it off, it'll just keep rubbing into the surface and making your life hell. Generally, people say when you change compounds, you should really clean down. I use the multi-surface cleaner from Zephyr, which is the Pro 50. Just a couple of squirts to take off the previous compound. Because the previous compound is going to be harsher than the one you're going to go to next. So there's no point in mixing it up. Give it a clean off. And the trouble with working with these sorts of cloths in my environment with plasma cutting and diamond engraving is you'll end up with no end of little bits of aluminium. You have to be very careful because you'll get all the way through polishing it. You run over it with the cloth and put a scratch in it, so always be careful of checking your cloth before you use it. Because we're in the early stages, it's not so important, but you still don't want to get a scratch in the dang thing. Now, I'm going to try now the green. I think they call it the green moss. A bit evident, really. But I'm going to give this a try. Everything is just a learning curve. Don't be afraid to swap things out, try things differently. You can't get it wrong, can you? You just have another go at it. Sand it off, start again. Right, we've got that on 3. slowly we're getting our shine to come through even more. A little bit foggy at the moment, but metal has some sort of structure to it. If you was to turn this 90 degrees, you'll get a different reflection of the lights, the way your eyes pick it up. So all we're going to do is just turn this mop to go the other way, and you should see a difference. The light picks it up a little differently depending on which way you're actually polishing. So if you can't move it, if it's like a grill and you can't change it, just change the way that you hold the machine. So you're just doing it side to side like that, get up and down, just to get the light to act differently. You'll see it as soon as you start using it. People don't realise how much difference your eyes with the light, sorry about that, how much they pick up the reflection differently, the way the light reflects off the surface. Just changing the way the mop runs makes a big difference. Now, as I said, I'm not going to cut any of this stuff out, so warts and all, you'll get the whole lot. Right, let's give that a bit of a clean. Take that one off. There we go, the nice fluffy one. Now it's got some residue from the last time we was using it, so we put it on, give it a whirl up, and a bit of a rake. You don't want to go too crazy with these ones because they're nice and fluffy. So let's take it down to one to start with the cleaner. And use some of our Zephyr Blue Moon compound. Now, as I say, there's no particular order what I do these things in. If I find I haven't got a good shine, I'll try something else until it does pick up. It's just a case of trial and error. That's all you've got to do. Don't worry if you get it wrong. Who cares? It's just a little bit of Zephyr's Pro 25 Signature Series Easy Cut. So we're just going to give this a little go over. Now, there's probably loads of these professional polishers watching this now, pulling their hair out if they've got any left, jumping up and down saying, yeah, but I wouldn't make any money in my shop taking that length of time. We're not professional polisher, never professed to be. All we're doing is getting a nice finish, and we're showing people roughly what works for us. It doesn't work for everybody, it's not meant to. Let me just give it a go over, give that one a little fluff up. Well guys, that's a shine I'm happy enough with. It may not win any competitions at any shows, but if you can go from this and get that shine, that's happy days. There's not much else I can say really. Don't be afraid to experiment with different things. Just because it works for some people may not work for you. Just experiment. The lines that you might have, what are in here, what you can see still, they will fade after a couple of days. And of course, under these LED lights, it's an absolute pain in the freaking arse to try and get a decent finish. If you had natural light on it, it would mean so much more. You can't. You're working in a small environment with LED lights, and there's not the best of things to try and work under. Our colonial peasants.
Hey, boss, I'm going to good. Yeah.
Gentlemen, Ciccolini here may talk like an idiot and look like an idiot, but don't let that fool you. He really is an idiot.
No outtakes. We're not going to cut bugger all out. Our friends across the pond and our friends in Australia, they have a better climate. The sun works for them. You know, I think I'm going to try and break these teeth in for a racehorse. Basically, just have fun with it, guys. You can't get it wrong. If you're just doing it for yourself, it's all a learning process. The thing that you cannot go wrong with is the Zephyr products. If you speak to Zephyr Pro 40, I think it is in America, and zephyrpolishes.co.uk for UK and Ireland. The Makita we use is a 7-inch one. As I say, it's the 9237 CB. So if Makita's listening and would like to send me another one, I think they're fantastic machines, and I'll sing their praises all day long because the torque you get out of this machine and the variable speed is just amazing. They don't get used very often because over here we'll either have the little 3.5-inch grinder or the 9-inch grinder. The 9-inch is okay, runs at 6,000 RPMs. It's a monster. It's alright if you've got big areas to do, But if you're doing small pieces like I do on 4x4 aluminium sheet and it catches an edge, believe me, this takes off like a rocket. This is why my spindle is a little bit on the bent side, because she took off like a rocket. This is why you should wear a safety mask all the times. There's not much else I can tell you guys apart from like, subscribe, and if you sat this way or this way through the video, then thank you very much. So see you soon. Right, to show you there's no trickery, guys. There you go. I just finished buffing off camera. It's still the same setup as you saw before, still as dirty as ever. So let's get that off of the mount and I'll show you what the shine is that we've got. Hello guys, still getting used to this bloody camera, but as you can see, the shine on it is lovely. So 100% you will not go far wrong using Zephyr Pro 40, Pro 50, Pro 25 and all of their buffing and different compounds. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.